right, YouTube, once again, it's Kennard Vernon Stewart here for the podcast. Talking Auburn football, go ahead and subscribe to Vernon Speak Sports Auburn. And as always, it's great to be an Auburn Tiger, War Eagle. Okay, so there's been a lot of talk as far as what the outcome of Auburn football is going to be in 2022. And if you know Auburn football like I know, you can't never predict this stuff, man. You just can't. I mean, you know, you go back to 2003, thought Auburn was going to be among the best teams in the country, finished 9-4, Music City Bowl. So you just can't. I'll tell you what. See, the problem with talking about Auburn among the Auburn fans is that you can't really talk about the positives without it seeming like you're sunshine pumping, or like a lot of YouTubers say, windmilling for certain situations. So you can't really do that without getting all that backlash. But I'm going to do it anyway. And I think Auburn has a chance, not necessarily, obviously, to win the SEC West. I mean, it's a really tough conference. I mean, you know, no team other than Alabama can be, you know, just predicted to win the SEC West. But you know, you this 4-8 thing that's been kind of circling around, it's just hard to swallow. Like, in all of my time, even as an Auburn fan, an Auburn student, and now an Auburn enthusiast, and maybe an Auburn analyst, I like to talk about Auburn football. Because, see, here's the background on why I started this channel in the first place. Because, as a matter of fact, if I still lived in Alabama, I probably wouldn't even do Auburn, because I would have people. When I was living in Alabama, I had folks that I would talk to about Auburn football. So the reason that I started this channel was because I was like, man, I'm living in Georgia, and I like talking about Auburn football every single day. And living in Alabama, I was able to do that. As a matter of fact, been living in Georgia for so long, when I come back to Alabama, it's kind of odd seeing Auburn tags. You know, you get closer to Auburn exit 58 on 85, 51, and you're like, damn, man, I'm back home. This is what's up, you know? Very familiar territory for me. All right, so what are we looking at? We're looking at the first, I'd say, 6 games of the 2022 season. Auburn has to absolutely make it happen in those games. Auburn has Mercer. Auburn has San Jose State. Auburn has LSU among those teams. And the first loss that a lot of folks are predicting is that Auburn will have a loss to Penn State at home against, they'll lose to Penn State at home. That'll be their first loss. What y'all think? Go ahead and hit the comment section and let me know what you think about the prospect of Penn State being Auburn's first loss. Now, why do you think Penn State will be the first loss? Is it name recognition? Do you think Penn State, you know, when we talk about, you know, predictions, are the sports analysts being lazy and say, well, it's Penn State, so they're going to beat Auburn? Is that the case? I think so. I think so. And I'm going to tell you a few reasons why in this video that I think so as well. Now, let's talk about the SEC, and let's talk about defense. Now, a lot of folks are off the predication that defenses win championships. They're like, no, you got to have offense. Nope, you absolutely have to have defense to win championships. Georgia showed that in the national championship game. They literally shut Alabama down. Now, a lot of detractors will say, well, if Jamison Williams had not succumbed to the injury, it might have been a different thing. And maybe so. But Georgia was much different on defense in the national championship game as they were in the SEC championship game. So you probably think, well, Kennard, where are you going with this? Well, I want to tap on to the no names, because Auburn is real big on they want this big name coach. They love the fact that Derek Mason was there, and they love the fact that had that big name coach, an SEC coach. It gives them some sense of comfort. But look, you got Jeff Smetting, who is the defensive coordinator, who played a huge role. I think he was like the co-defensive coordinator last year for Auburn. And Auburn struggled a little bit against Georgia State. Probably a game they should have lost, won the game 34-24. But after that game, Auburn allowed 24 points per game, which was amplified by a 34-point giveaway to Georgia and a 43-point giveaway to Mississippi State. But by and large, an average of 24 points per game should, with a decent offense, which that's the thing, should give you an opportunity to win. So now, here's what I think are the biggest factors in whether Auburn will be successful or not. And that's Rock Bellatoni and Jimmy Brumbaugh. I think the game of football in the Southeastern Conference is won at the line of scrimmage. Rock Bellatoni is the edge linebacker coach. Jimmy Brumbaugh is the defensive line coach. They got a lot of guys coming in. We actually have a guy that has committed to Auburn from Memphis. We're going to talk about that in a video tomorrow. But I just want to know, what do you guys think? Like, as far as this 4-8 thing, this dumpster fire at Auburn. I'm not trying to sunshine pump, but I'm not feeling the 4-8 thing. I think these guys are talented. So let's talk about the defensive line. You have Derek Hall coming back on the edge. You also have Kobe Wooten, who will be coming back, and Marcus Harris. All of these guys, Marquise Burks, who can be added in the mix, are very talented guys. But the thing is, when Auburn lands guys from the transfer portal, you're like, well, yes, Auburn needed them. You talk about Auburn didn't need them. You need depth. Auburn's first 11 can probably compete against most teams in the country. But then when you start to factor in injuries and depth, that's where things start to get shaky. Auburn fans, it's a beautiful Sunday afternoon in the great state of Georgia. I am a native of Tuskegee, Alabama, about 15 minutes from Auburn. And I hope you got a little something out of this video. My name is Kennard Vernon Stewart. For the podcast, like, comment, and subscribe, and become a member of Vernon Speaks Sports Auburn. And as always, it's great to be an Auburn Tiger.